If I file a tax extension, do I need to pay my taxes by the original deadline? That's a question that's loaded with implications, especially in those years when the tax deadline creeps up on us a little too quickly. Let's answer that, and also whether filing for an extension gives you a breather on paying taxes or just on filing them. First up, let's get the basics out of the way. Filing a tax extension does grant you extra time to submit your tax return, but it does not, and I can't stress this enough, extend the deadline for when your taxes are due. The IRS expects any taxes you owe to be paid by the original tax deadline. It's a common misconception that you get a pass on everything until the extension deadline, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Not meeting this obligation can lead to penalties and interest stacking up, which is the last thing any of us want. So, how do you navigate this? Well, you'll need to estimate what you owe and make a payment by the tax deadline. I know, estimating your tax liability might sound like guessing the number of jelly beans in a jar, but it's doable. You can use last year's return as a starting point, especially if your income hasn't changed much. There are also plenty of online tools designed to help you make this estimation. Just remember, the aim is to pay as close to what you owe as possible to avoid underpayment penalties. But here's a silver lining. If you overestimate and pay more than you owe, you'll get the difference back as a refund once you file your actual return. It's like giving the government a short-term loan and then getting your money back with a little thanks for lending note in the form of a refund. And then, for those of you wondering about the process of filing an extension, it's quite straightforward. You'll need to fill out Form 4868 and submit it to the IRS by the original filing deadline. This form is essentially your RSVP to the IRS saying, "I'll be a bit late to the party this year." And just like that, you get an extra 6 months to file your tax return without facing a late filing penalty. So remember, a tax extension gives you more time to file, not to pay. It's a safety net for making sure you get your tax return right, not a delay on what you owe. So, estimate and pay up what you owe by the original deadline. File for an extension if you need more time to get your paperwork together, and get through tax season without the extra stress of penalties and interest.